Welcome back to my porch. Sorry I sound like crap. I got COVID. I sound worse than I feel. Hence me working on the porch. So I was out here on the phone doing some work stuff the other day, and because I'm gotta work from home as much as you can, and I started poking around, and all of a sudden this opened up, which was sort of frightening. Everything else sort of seems feels pretty strong, when I'm knocking around here, but just this one spot, I suspect that there's caulking had gone bad on the outside, and this turned this into a channel, and it's been ducting water down like an aqueduct into here for decades. And then down here, that's not good. So I'm gonna set up a camera. We'll get some time lapse, and we're gonna poke around this wall and see what the extent of the damage is, and try to get ahead of this, if there's such a thing as getting ahead of this. Alright, going on a week of this COVID thing. Still haven't got my voice back. I've got the sill out. I've still got a couple little pieces of sill left to remove. I've got to figure out a good detail to reconcile. I want to keep the screen. The screen is, the the material is $2 a foot just for the framing part. So it can be very, very expensive when you start to add all this up. So I'm going to try to keep that. I understand it's not ideal, but if I can save $2,000 on materials, I'm going to try to, and get it sort of cleaned up. I've still got to come through and do the detail cleaning. Things were looking pretty good until I got over to this second screen door, and there's quite a bit of rot in this area. So what they'd done here is just framed in this material with just internal grade, non-treated, typical 2x4s, and then it just got murdered by the termites and whatnot. When I bought the house, they disclosed that they'd had some termite treatments done. I didn't think too much of it because there's the T111 on the outside of the house, and it's notorious for that. But I didn't realize that they had framed a lot of the stuff out with non-treated lumber. I would have at least taken, if it was internal grade stuff, taken some Boracare or some sort of termiticide and saturated it with it. But what I need to do now is come through and pull out all the rotten wood that's in there as much as I can. Everything is inexorably sort of tied together, so I'm going to try to get out what I can in the top there. Alright, I was able to get all that out of there. So it's sort of hard to film. I'm up and down and behind corners screwing things together. It goes pretty fast putting these metal studs up. Cutting with the bandsaw in the shop, which is nice. And I think what I'm going to do, I was thinking about doing a hardy board, but I'm going to do a tin roof kind of siding on it. I think I got to check with the boss on that one first to see what she says. But anyway, maybe try to get a little time lapse, but I don't think it's going to be very rewarding. We'll see what happens. Alright, so I have a lot of cleanup to do. Well, some cleanup to do. But I've got it framed out. 24 inches on center. And then sort of framed out around the door. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work, the dimensions of cedar and whatnot. So I can change everything relatively quickly if I need to. And I didn't want to tear into it anymore. Everything else seemed pretty solid over there. So I can't tell you the last time I framed a door out or anything like that. So I'm sort of winging it. I'm pretty happy the way this stuff goes together. And I'm got the okay from the boss on the steel. So I've got that. I'm going to have to buy a couple extra sheets and rip them down to reconcile the gap. We'll do that with the plasma cutter. God damn it. Here's my new tool. It's a pneumatic nibbler. Let's see how this works. Alright, so there it is. I've got a little tidying up to do. I'm short a couple pieces, but for the video, for the purposes of this video, it's effectively done. Gonna tidy up the corners a little bit more, and I've got to do a little bit of a lining and whatnot. But for the goal of this thing, to get rid of all the organic stuff, I don't want anything that can rot or anything the bugs can eat. I think this is going to be more than good enough. And in the scheme of things, it's $23 a sheet for these metal planks, and about $2.50 a paver. But it's going to last forever, so I'm going to have to come back and do screen another day. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.